over a year ago, Apex Legends Mobile announced that the game would be officially shutting down or sunsetting its operations, meaning that after just a year of being globally launched, one of the biggest AAA title, meaning that one of the biggest AAA mobile games to be ever produced, would be closing its doors and ceasing production after less than a year on the market. And I wanted to revisit things a year later to see where things stand, if the game might ever come back, and see if some of the competitors out there on the market could actually do a better job, and just where things stand today. Now, Apex Legends Mobile might have been one of the most, I don't want to say divisive games of all time in the mobile gaming like shooter genre sphere, but it felt like at the time tensions were high, opinions were flowing from everyone left, right, center. People thought the game was either amazing or people hated the game. They thought it was optimized amazingly or ran terribly. It either was the best developed game of all time or the worst. But ultimately, at the end of the day, regardless of where you stood in the spectrum of liking or disliking Apex Legends Mobile, the numbers didn't lie that the player count month over month continued to fall. The game made less and less money, and ultimately at the end of the day, the game was just burning a ton of money. It was losing piles of cash every single month, keeping the game online, developing the game, paying all the staff to produce the game. And well, at the end of the day, EA is a company and they have to do what is right for shareholders as a publicly traded company, and so they decided to shut down the game after being live globally for less than a year. Now, I personally didn't switch to playing Apex Legends on PC, but I do know a few people from the Apex mobile sphere who did switch to PC, and one of the most interesting things that came from all of this is, to my knowledge, I don't think any features that were developed for the mobile ecosystem, like any of the characters, any of the modes, ended up making its way to the PC side of things, or I guess like the mainline game, which is really interesting because I would say that's where the strong suit of Apex Legends Mobile was. We had some really awesome characters like Fade. That was a genuinely really cool character. We also had some really fun modes like TDM. Like, I don't even think TDM was a mode for the mainline game. Again, I might be completely wrong here. I don't play PC Apex, but to my knowledge, I am 99% sure that there weren't any big features that mobile had that ended up getting ported to PC after the game was shut down, which I just kind of find insane that years were spent on development of these features and these characters and these modes, and they just kind of went nowhere. Now, one of the main reasons I'm actually making this video today is because of a new feature that was launched this year for Apex Legends, and it's something that was originally a really big talking point when the game first shut down, and one of the main reasons that the mobile game might actually come back and relaunch later on down the line, and that is cross progression. When Apex Legends Mobile was originally shut down and sunsetted, the CEO or some higher up executive at EA came on a press conference or conference call and said, listen, the mobile version didn't succeed. A lot of the mainline people, a lot of the PC and console players, they didn't convert to becoming mobile players, and it just really wasn't a success being its own little secluded mobile thing. Call of Duty Mobile has done an incredible job being its own little ecosystem. It has no ties whatsoever to the mainline Call of Duty. It does its own skins, it does its own bundles, it does whatever it wants, and it succeeds incredibly well. Apex Legends Mobile tried to do a similar thing, taking familiar weapons and familiar maps and familiar modes from the mainline game and bringing it to Apex Legends Mobile, but ultimately it failed. And so what the CEO said is that if in the future cross progression came out, that they might consider re-releasing Apex Legends Mobile on mobile devices if it was a shared connection. If you could hop on mobile, level up your account, and then you would have that progression, those skins, those characters on your PC, on your console, or vice versa. If you're a PC and console gamer, you've already spent, years and years, 5 years playing Apex Legends, and you have all this progress, you can immediately download the mobile game on your device and start out with a ton of progress, all of your skins, all of your characters, all of your accolades, ready to go to play Apex Legends on your phone. And well, they did it. After a few years, Apex Legends has finally added cross progression, meaning if you have multiple devices that you play Apex Legends on, you can finally merge all of them under one EA account. So no matter what device you play on, it could be an Xbox, you could play on a PlayStation, you could play on, I think they have Switch as well, you can play on a PC, you can have one account for multiple devices, you could play across all the devices, and it will be a shared cross progression system. This is basically what Warzone Mobile is doing. They have spent a lot of time talking about cross progression, not cross platform. So if you're playing on PC, you'll still play against PC players. If you're Warzone Mobile, you're only playing against Warzone Mobile players. And so that seems like to be a really good model where you've spent, again, years on Call of Duty mainline grinding your camos, but if the new Warzone Mobile mobile comes out, hey, I've already got all my weapon attachments. I've already got all my weapon camos. I already have all my progression. I can just start off with a head start and enjoy this new game on my phone. That's pretty cool. So with this new cross progression feature coming to Apex Legends, and it's already here, by the way, it kind of introduces the question of, would Apex Legends Mobile come out again as like just the same game we already had playing in Apex like mobile lobbies, but with cross progression? Because that was their thing. We had our own seasons, we had our own battle pass, we had our own skins. We weren't tied to the main game at all, to my understanding. And so would the executives at EA and at Respawn think, hey, we messed up the first time, but Call of Duty seems to be doing a pretty good job with Warzone Mobile. Cross progression seems to make a little bit more sense to the mobile side. We could give this a round two. We already have the game. Like, they've already developed a whole game, albeit the game was pretty buggy, wasn't optimized well for low and for high-end devices, and they definitely could use a lot of polishing for the game if they ended up remaking it. But I think the opportunity there, and that's really why I'm making this video, is because that seems to be the trend. Fortnite Mobile is even it is cross-platform, but it's also cross-progression. It is both cross-platform and cross-progression, and so it's just an interesting talking point. It's been a year. A lot of people still talk about the game. Apex Legends is still a pretty relevant game, and I think that game really filled like an interesting void in the market. Farlight 84 has also been experiencing some turbulence with some of the player base and some updates and some stuff going on and that side of things. So for the battle royale genre on mobile, things are pretty shaky, and this could be a good re-entry point for the studio. But if they decide to make the game, they already have some competition out there. You guys also might be familiar with a title, High Energy Heroes, or I think there's like another name for it. I'm not even sure. It's basically a Chinese developed ripoff clone. It might be made by Tencent, but it's basically a carbon copy of Apex Mobile. It's got the same character abilities. It has the same looking map layout. It has the same weapons. It all just is reskinned. I've made a reaction video or two on this on the past, but the main downfall of this game, it is just very hard to get your hands on the game outside of China. It is currently a Chinese exclusive game. I believe it is pretty popular. It is like succeeding within China, but at the moment, I don't know if they have plans to release it globally. I've talked to some people who were kind of in the High Energy Heroes game space and leaking space, and even they don't know if the game is planned to release globally. But from the people that I've talked to, other than the ping, that game runs phenomenally well. And again, there's still so much interest for it that people outside of China are willing to go to extreme lengths to play Apex Legends Mobile style of games. And it just kind of goes to show like the size of the bag that was fumbled, unfortunately, by EA and Respawn of Apex Mobile. I still do think like the potential for esports and competitive and content, there was so much potential, and it really just came down to like the execution of the game just wasn't there at the end of the day, with updates and content and season and delays and all these little things that just really led to like the downfall of Apex Legends Mobile. But again, with cross progression now being a thing on PC and console and Switch, it reintroduces the opportunity for Apex Mobile to now come back online for iOS and Android. And even if that doesn't happen, we've also seen new states kind of enter the fold with this ability type genre of game. There's Farlight 84, there's High Energy Heroes. There's a lot of games kind of taking this Apex style of battle royale, but truthfully, I don't think any game has done it better than Apex. I just think Apex didn't do even their game justice. I think if Apex can truly release a polished version of their game on mobile, they would dominate that sector of battle royale. So many people would play it. I would play it. I'm sure a lot of you guys would play it. Let me know your thoughts down below. It's been a year. Do you still miss the game? Have you moved on? Personally, I moved on. I don't really think about the game anymore, but I've seen a little bit of rumblings, a little bit of talkings going on online, on Twitter, on Discord, and people talking about Apex Mobile, and especially with a lot of the controversy of some recent updates with Farlight, and again, some new updates with PUBG. A lot of people are just kind of talking about the style of battle royale and the genre of mobile gaming now, and especially again with the updates, who knows? I definitely don't think the game would be coming out anytime soon. It would definitely be more like later this year or early 2025, and by then Valor Mobile might be out. Warzone Mobile is definitely going to be out by then, and it might be too little too late for Apex Mobile. But I just kind of wanted to reminisce on the good old days of Apex Legends Mobile. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, if you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.